jobs over the years. I always dabbled in sales. Out of high school, I tried selling vacuums, door knocking. That was an experience. Very, very tough. I connected with somebody with the Herbalife nutrition community, and I would call him Carlos. I'd say he's probably like one of my first mentors for sure. Started learning the sales, a little bit of the products. I was really into fitness at the time. I love Herbalife. I still use the products today, honestly. I just really enjoyed that, helping people. Helping you get in, feel better and get in shape. At the same time, I was making money and around all this positivity and these new ways of thinking. I did Herbalife, had some success there for a little bit. I had a union job at the time at a chemical plant nearby, and we were buying a house and all that. So I was just like, I gotta kind of, focus on domestication, let's call it. But to get on staff, you basically have to wait for somebody to retire or get fired. And I was like, I'm so sick of being in this chemical plant right now. Like, I gotta do something.
Hey everybody, it's Brooke Jones, aka the Millennial Agent.
Hey guys, it's your girl Tyra Nicole.
Hey everybody, I am Nicole Pay,
and you are watching the RPR Podcast.
I don't do the most, but I do a lot. I'ma make a toast, cause we still alive. No big, I feel like Pac. I shoot a shot.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Real People in Real Estate Podcast, where we talk about the real shit and not about real estate. I'm one of your hosts, Brooke Jones, aka the Millennial Agent.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Tyra Nicole.
Hey everybody, I am Nicole Pay, and today we have Associate Broker with Social House, James Morgan, with us.
Hey,
I saw, do you go by JMO? Because I saw JMO on there. Is like JMO a thing?
Yes, it's my childhood nickname.
Your childhood?
For sure.
JMO. Like
so I was
JMO.
JMO
like
before
that.
the current JMO, the Lion.
Oh, yeah.
But he does JAMO.
Yeah,
I do just JMO.
JMO.
Oh, how did you get that?
With James Morgan.
Well, James
It was just
Morgan,
super
so
simple.
JMO.
Got it.
Plus, I was infatuated with J-Lo growing up. you
Oh,
know,
really?
So,
We gotta
so
talk
that was
about
an
that.
easy one, you know?
You're infatuated with J-Lo?
Yeah, absolutely. You
Who
were?
isn't?
You were?
I mean, we're almost the same age, so it's kind of hard for me to be infatuated.
She was like an idol to look up to.
Like, I
though.
mean, like, now, like, older, yeah. I mean, but I remember her on, what was that, In Living Color?
In Living
I remember
Color.
her on, like, In Living Color. Like, that's how old I am.
Speaking of that,
What?
did you guys see the Marlon Wayans interview?
I did not.
It was so good.
Did
Did
you
you
guys-
see it?
Which one? I've seen a lot of clips lately.
Shannon
Sharp.
Sharpley,
Oh,
whatever
okay.
his name
Yeah.
is.
Yep, I saw a little bit of that.
We
It
like
was
love
really
Shannon
good.
Sharp and everything that he's doing, so.
Yeah.
What did they talk about?
He just talked a lot about the whole Wayans stuff, like all the stuff they've done, like from the
okay.
beginning to the end, and it was just interesting.
The one thing I
Yeah.
found interesting, I remember watching that video. Was that the one where he was talking about Jim Carrey?
Yeah, he talked
that
about
was crazy.
everybody.
So they were talking about Jim Carrey before Living Color, and how he really wasn't getting the shots.
Yeah.
And it was like Damon that
Gave him the shot.
Damon gave
Yeah.
him the shot, man.
That's
And then-
crazy.
yeah.
And so
Didn't
many
they-
other people on In Living Color. Like, so many people was on
I
In
mean,
Living
I
Color.
guess if we would like pull up a clip, I'm sure there'd be a lot of people that we'd
so,
recognize.
Rosie Perez.
Everybody.
Yeah, Rosie Perez. I remember she was on In Living Color too.
Yeah.
But didn't he talk about like somebody? I saw a clip like somebody stole like their work or someone took
Yeah,
their idea.
that too.
Was it a movie or a TV show?
Movie.
It was a movie. Do you remember which one it was?
It was Scream, I believe.
Really?
Because they wrote like all the Screams.
Uh-huh.
He was saying how they wrote like they did Scream 1 and they did really good with it. Then when it was time to do Scream 2, they wanted to pay them like less than what they had paid for it or whatever. So anyway, they had disputes about how much, and then it got down to I think like the fourth one. And they
many
like
are
dipped
there?
out of it.
And
it
they're
was
like, I got
like
something
5
for
or
that.
6 or
Scary
something.
movie.
Right.
Right?
But
The
he
scary
was
movie.
Oh
saying,
yeah, Scary Movie series came out after that.
He was saying like
I forgot.
when it kind of like fell off was
Yeah.
when they didn't have anything to do with it.
Oh wow.
Anymore
That's
or
crazy.
whatever.
I didn't really get into those movies. Like I think
Scary
I,
movies?
Yeah, I think I watched like the
I
first
did
one.
for like the
I didn't
first
either.
2
No, you
or
didn't?
3.
Oh, my wife's obsessed with them.
Really?
Obsessed with them.
Like I like watched I think the first one because it was like huge. Everyone watched it. But I think like after that I might have just watched it in bed at like a 2 a.m. drunk night kind of thing.
Do you guys get into the gory movies? See, I don't get into the gory stuff.
No, I don't. I don't like gore.
I don't
really.
like
I like scary, but not gore.
I don't even like being scared. Like if Will Pay would here, he would tell you like I like throw punches when I'm scared. Like if the kids in the house think it's like the best thing when they
Yeah.
can scare me because I don't do well with that.
Yeah.
Scare mom, you might have a haymaker coming at
they
you.
like think it's hilarious trying to scare me because I do not like to be scared. I don't like, but yet I like roller coasters. So go figure.
Yeah, you're like a thrill seeker.
Yeah, I'm
you
like a roller coaster.
skydiving.
Yeah, I went skydiving or bungee jumping. I did
Bungee jumping. I get them mixed up.
So yeah, I did bungee jump, but I don't like that like anticipation scare. Does that make sense?
jump scare.
The jump scare. I like
Yeah.
knowing that I'm going to be scared. I don't like to be scared.
Yeah. So James,
yeah.
tell us a little bit about, maybe if somebody asked you, tell us about yourself or give us like a 10-second description of who you would say you are or what you do.
Ooh, 10 seconds. Let me see how many seconds do I
I mean, do we
have
have
now,
a timer?
right? No, I'm
minute.
just a chill, regular guy from Downriver, Michigan, Southeast Michigan.
Okay.
I've lived everywhere. Name the city, it's not Downriver. I've probably lived there. But no, come from very, very modest means. And yeah, like one of the questions I think you guys sent me was like, you know, adversity. Like, how have you responded to adversity? And I was
Yeah, we
thinking
don't
to
ask
myself,
any of those
Yeah, I know,
questions.
I
Yeah,
like
we
that,
really
but it
don't.
got me thinking. It did get me
that
thinking, which
makes you
was
think,
good.
right?
Right. And I was thinking that question. I was like, man, my whole life has been adversity. You know what I mean?
Really?
Like, yeah, absolutely.
Where'd you go to high school?
I graduated from Flat Rock, Michigan.
Okay.
Oh, no way.
From Flat Rock High School, yeah.
I graduated from Gibraltar Crossing.
Oh, did you?
I was
Very
going to
good.
say where I
Yeah.
live, but that's on camera. I live near Flat Rock now, so. But before we were talking though, you said you married your high school sweetheart.
That's
So you
right,
guys have
yep.
been married for how long?
Yeah, going on 12 years, January.
I mean,
Oh, good.
If she's watching, you better make sure that number's right.
Yeah, we've been married a long time. I'm very proud of that. It's, you know, marriage is not easy. That's for sure, right? I don't know. You're married for
I'm
sure.
married,
Are
yeah.
you-
I'm not married.
Not yet. Not yet.
Divorced. Happily.
Okay. All right. Great. I like that. Keep it that way.
She said, and that's happily.
It takes a lot of work.
It does take a lot of work. So do you have children?
No children. That didn't go that way for us, but it doesn't mean it won't go that way
Yeah.
still, right? And no, but one dog. His name's
One
Cooper.
dog.
He's 4 years old. He's
Cooper.
a rescue. He's great.
Aw.
He's a lot
We're
of
like,
fun.
aw.
Yeah.
I'm a dog person.
Yeah.
I have a Rottweiler.
Yes.
Big
yes.
fat baby.
We thought he was a Rottweiler when we adopted him because he's a rescue. He's
Yeah.
And nope, he's like Great Dane, Yorkie, Hound.
Did
Did you guys get him tested
Yeah.
to see what he was?
Yeah, when you rescue them, they give you that DNA test now. It just
Oh,
comes with it all
really?
the time.
That's kind of cool. I never.
for sure.
I'm sorry, but you said Great Dane and Yorkie. We're
Yeah.
like Great Dane.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how did that happen?
We joke he's part reindeer because his legs are like this long, but he's not a huge dog.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's different.
So, like, how big is he?
He's about 80 pounds, I'd say.
That's still pretty big.
That's still a big dog.
Yeah. I mean, his head's up here, but
So, but how does he look like a Yorkie? Does he have the coloring of a Yorkie?
he looks more like a pit bull terrier hound
Okay.
type deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's your fur baby.
Yeah, absolutely. No dog. Dog? Do you have a dog?
No, I had a growing up family. I had a dog, but on my own, I just can't.
Yeah, too
You're
busy,
like,
yeah.
I just can't.
I just recently got rid of a
I would
dog.
say you had a dog.
Happily.
What happened?
Happily
She said
again.
happily.
What happened?
No, I mean, it just
It's too much.
It just started to be too much, and it was
It
like
is.
the kids talked me into it anyway, and finally I gave in, and we had him for like 4 years. And his name was Charles, and he really thought he
Chuck.
was
In
like
charge?
Charles.
I knew you were going there. That was easy.
It's kind of funny though because like we talk about dogs and like you don't have a dog, and I say this like for me it was William is not a dog person. My husband is not like at all, and I'm very much a dog. Like when he met me, I had 2 dogs, and then at one point we had 3 dogs, and then we had no dogs because life happens. But it's funny because there was always that one dog, like that one like got him. And it all like changed everything. But for me, a truth was like we talk about our truths on here, like your truth. For me, a truth was growing up with dogs because I was an only child, and I always had a dog in my house. That was like my sibling. Like I know it sounds weird, but
Yeah.
like I went for a walk, the dog went for a walk. I went for a car ride, the dog went. Like that's how I grew up. So for me, it was a no-brainer. And he's like, "We're not getting a dog." I'm like, yes, we are.
And it's like the complete opposite, like when you don't grow up with dogs.
Right, because he did it, and he was like, "What do we need a dog for?" So there was like a lot of compromise in how our dog was trained and everything like that. Like he wanted this. We live on 2 acres. He's like, "I'm gonna have this guard dog," and I'm like, "Oh, I get a lap dog." And he's like, "This dog's gonna protect the house," and I'm like, "Oh, she's gonna sleep in our room." Yeah, none of that happened, but yeah, it's your truth. So did you grow up with dogs or?
No, not really.
No?
I think we had one here and there.
So I
like
always
one
wondered
time
if-
when I was growing up, but that was about it. No.
No. You grew up with a dog. Do you think
I
you'll ever
did.
get one?
No. Probably not.
Okay, well, that truth moment sucked. So let's move on. Move on to
So did you?
the next.
Were you born in Flat Rock? Or
No, I was born in Oakwood, Dearborn, back when it was Oakwood, Dearborn.
Oh, yeah.
But no,
Yes.
yeah, I've grew up here my whole life, for sure.
You said you moved around a lot, though.
I did. So, you know, I come from a home where my parents weren't together. My mom had certain issues. My dad had certain issues. So I lived with my grandma and my mom most of the time. And, you know, things kind of got to a point to where we got separated. And from there, I just bounced around from grandma to uncle to friend and all that.
Yeah.
Finished up high school, Flat Rock, living with a friend, you know, just so I could stay graduating from Flat Rock. And yeah, I mean, that's just a small sample size, you know.
Yeah.
of
Do you
everything.
feel like having to figure things out at like such a young age affected you in a good or a bad way?
That's a powerful question, Brooke.
Yeah.
That's a great question. Yes, absolutely. I think about that all the time. I would say, like, again, one of those questions, right? What's one of your strengths? Well, I like those questions because they do make you, you know, reflect. And I'd say one of my strengths is adaptability, because I've always had to adapt, right?
Yeah.
You're going to go live with somebody else, you got to adapt. With the next person, you got to adapt to the way they live. So, yeah, like survival mode and adaptability, absolutely. Absolutely.
Did you have siblings, or was it just you?
Yep, I had siblings.
You had
for
siblings.
sure.
Did they go
Younger siblings.
everywhere you went?
No.
Or was
they,
it a lot of pressure for you?
It was a little bit different for each of us.
Yeah.
I'd say that for sure. Yeah.
So, like growing up, like when you moved into that phase of your life, like high school, were you stable, or did you and your wife connect like at a young age, or was it like towards the end of high school?
Yeah, we did. We met in middle school, sitting next to each other in algebra or whatever it was, geometry. I can't remember.
In middle
A
school?
long time ago. Yeah, a long time ago. That's when we met, and then we started dating sophomore year in high school. You know, and a little bit on and off for a little bit, but you know, eventually came back together shortly after, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
So, was it like distance or college or whatever, like, or was it just life that caused you like to
Just
do
life, just we connected. You know, just
Yeah.
that when you find your life person, you will know.
Yeah.
Like you will know if it's whether it's love or lust or whatever. There is a slight difference between all of those, and then just knowing that you found the person that was put here for you. Yeah, that's a powerful thing.
So, what's one of the things you would say that made you feel like you knew that was the person?
Ooh, new. I mean, I don't know. It's
Because sophomore is young, like that's a young age.
yeah,
to
yeah. I
be,
mean, I
so.
wouldn't say I was infatuated. Like we were, you know, and all that.
Yeah.
We were dating. We were
Yeah.
young, you know. So that grew. But the biggest thing with us is we always communicated. We always talked. We always kept it honest. You know, she didn't come from, you know, a bunch of means by any means. But you know, so we connected on those types of fronts for sure.
So, what is your relationship like with your family members now?
I mean, I have a great relationship with my family. I do my best.
Yeah.
You know? My
Family's just as hard
grandma's
as
still
marriage.
around. Huh?
I said family is sometimes it's just as hard as marriage.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, when you're married, one of those big things that you need to figure out is putting up those boundaries for, you know, with your family.
For sure.
That's for sure. I know that's one thing that her and I have worked on over the years. We love our family, of course, you know, but you know, family can be overbearing sometimes, and everybody plays a role within their family. That's for sure. Whether you know it or not, you're playing a role, and
Yeah.
they expect you to play that role,
Right.
And when you don't play that role, you know, feelings gone.
Comes
so
with
the
weight.
best thing you can do is put up that healthy boundary, right? You know, no, that really doesn't work for me, but I can't wait to see you next time.
That's awesome though that you realize that at a young age, like putting up boundaries. Because even me in my 40s, like I think I'm still trying to figure out how to put certain boundaries up. Not so even with friends and life and stuff. So that's pretty awesome that you guys realized that, and I think that has a lot to do with communication too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Communication is the lifeblood of any relationship.
yeah,
Whether it's marriage or a business relationship, and you know the relationship that you guys got with this podcast, that's built on communication. If communication starts breaking down, this podcast probably won't be here next year.
Yeah,
You know,
for
for
sure.
sure.
That's true.
For sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people, when it comes to weddings and the families, it starts a lot of drama. Did you guys have a big wedding?
No. Smallest of weddings. We didn't want that. We were like, you know what, we're gonna invest our funds into our honeymoon and all that good stuff.
Oh, where'd you go?
Yeah, we went to Dominican Republic.
Nice. That's where I got married.
Did you really?
I got married in the Dominican, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we did that too. We still had a bunch of people go with us, but we did the same thing. We were like, go away
Yeah.
to an island, everyone have fun, be a big party. So yeah, Dominican's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, great
Have you been
beaches.
back?
No, I haven't been back. We did just take a trip to Puerto Rico this year, which was
Nice.
amazing.
I heard that's beautiful too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Yeah.
my family's from there, so that was like a lifelong thing of mine
Okay.
to go there. So we got to go to the region that my grandma's from and all that. So it was really like this experience of just connection with my family.
That's
So you're
actually
Puerto
cool.
Rican?
Mhm.
Okay.
That's actually really cool that you would like define. So like, did you have like a whole itinerary planned of where you wanted to go, or was it just you knew a spot and then went from there?
Yeah, so my grandma's from Fajardo, Puerto Rico, and we just said, let's go there. Found an Airbnb, and when we go on vacation, we just go with the flow. It's where are we eating, when we drinking, what
Yeah.
day trip do you want to do? The beach trip is next tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's about it. But no,
So you
Captain
have
Ocean.
family there currently, or?
I'm supposed to. My grandma's turning 90 here in a minute, so
wow.
her
That's
memory
awesome.
isn't so great, and
Yeah.
she hasn't talked to much of the family since Hurricane Maria. So, which
Oh
was
gosh,
a few
how long?
years ago.
Yeah, that was a little bit ago.
Yeah, so I'm not positive. I probably got to do one of those searches, though.
Was that your first time in Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
So I'm curious because I'm going to like my motherland next year for the first time. Do you
that?
feel like this certain connection when you
much
go
so.
to your homeland?
Very much so. It was interesting because I'm not 100% Boricua, right?
Yeah.
Not 100% Boricua, but I do resonate with it. That's how I grew up. I grew up
Yeah.
with my grandma, my mom, my uncle.
The cooking.
My favorite meal is rice and
I was
beans.
gonna say the cooking.
Right. So I absolutely felt a connection. It was funny, like just being there. Like you did see, it was like, man, they kind of look like that kind of looks like my sister. That kind of looks like my mom.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
Don't they have a name for that? The beans?
The rice and beans.
Is that tres soles or something like that?
No.
Did I say it wrong? I don't want to
No,
embarrass myself.
isn't
I don't
that's a Italian?
And I love
No, you said
that.
she said arroz con frijoles. Is that what you said?
Oh, I heard that little
That's
accent.
like, no, I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. But that's beans though.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
I was halfway right.
Do you speak Spanish?
No, just
No.
just a little bit. I always mess with my grandma that my mom or my uncle and her would always talk and they yell at us in Spanish.
Yeah.
But no, never taught. I took a little bit in high school, Duolingo, before Puerto Rico. But no, I need to invest more time.
That's
So,
one language I do want to learn.
We talked about this a little bit last week. What type of person were you in high school?
Oh, we did talk about this.
That's
Yeah.
a good question.
I was the outgoing one, the one not afraid to be embarrassed, and things like that. So.
Were you like in sports or?
Yeah. Football, linebacker, captain.
So you were popular.
Yeah.
'Cause we went-
I was
we
class
did that too,
president.
like popular,
Popular in the middle?
In the middle
or
or not popular?
not at all?
That's it.
So we did that
I don't
too.
want to put myself as popular, but
But
I
you
mean, I was
were.
class president, so I was
Oh, that too.
I mean, that's
Okay.
pretty it's an
And I just
accomplishment.
assumed it was a popularity contest. I never knew anything came with it, any responsibility.
That you actually had to do something.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
super
so
cool.
tell us a little bit about your careers, like starting from the beginning to now. How did you get to where you are?
Yeah, that's a long road. I've had a lot of jobs over the years, everything from fast food to manufacturing and things like that. Let's see, I guess the short end of it would be I always dabbled in sales. Out of high school, I tried selling vacuums, door knocking. That was an experience.
Were they Kirby's?
No fun. Yeah, no, it was
Oh.
one of these new, I don't even remember, honestly. It was like an air filter and everything, I don't know.
Tell us a story from that. Was it tough?
Very, very tough.
I think I tried that before too.
I don't remember the Kirby.
It was like one day.
You were like, forget it.
I'm so
They
scared
have,
to
like,
just
that
go to
big
someone's
meeting.
door these days.
Yeah.
Well, no, that
No.
was back in the day.
no
They used
joke.
to have that meeting. Did
Yeah.
you say where you go to them? It's like a lot of people
Yeah,
there.
they
and
train you in like a
explain-
circle and all that.
They explain how it works.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Now
So you go start
sell
knocking
it.
on
Yeah.
Go
doors.
sell.
Too funny. I think one of my friend's moms bought something and my aunt bought something, and that was about
That was it.
It's like when
I
you're a
did that
kid.
in the night.
So we actually bought the Cutco knives,
The Cutco knives,
and
yeah.
we actually bought the Cutco knives, and it wasn't even door. It was a Zoom. They did it over a
Oh.
Zoom, and it was a family member. And I will say the best knives
They're
we've
great knives.
ever had in our life. Like
U.S. made, Union made, steelworker
the
made.
best knives.
is some good
my,
knives out there.
Yeah, my scissors like got a king. I was being silly and I wanted because they like you can cut a penny, so I actually tried.
They cut a penny?
They're that sharp.
Then you dulled your knife.
Well, so I chipped it. When I did it, and they have
Nicole.
a lifetime. I did.
Oh, yeah.
Well, luckily they're gonna replace it, but hopefully they don't see this video. But that's part of their selling thing is they
Yeah,
will cut
they
a
can
penny
cut-
in front
yeah.
of you. And I tried to do it at home because I'm like, there's no way that was a real penny, but it chipped my. But they'll replace it for free for a lifetime. So even if I pass them on, so that kind of stuff is worth it.
Yeah.
But they are the
Yeah.
best. And
Unless they go out
Cutco.
of business, then they might not
I don't know if
replace it.
Cutco would ever go out. That is true. But I remember the
Exactly.
Kirby people coming to our door, like carrying the
I don't
vacuums down
remember
the
what
street.
vacuums it
Oh,
was
yeah.
Kirby
that I was
people?
selling. No, when I
I
was
don't
trying
remember
to
at
sell
all.
them.
So
I
I
don't
mean, you
remember.
always dabbled in sales.
Yeah,
like
so a
you
little
had
bit.
that niche.
So eventually, I connected with somebody with the Herbalife nutrition community, and I would call him Carlos. I'd say he's probably like one of my first mentors for sure. Started learning the sales, a little bit of the products. I was really into fitness at the time.
I did
and-
Herbalife too.
Yeah, I love Herbalife. I still use the products today, honestly. And I just really enjoyed that, helping people, helping you get in, feel better and get in shape. At the same time, I was making money and around all this positivity and these new ways of thinking. For sure, that was literally Carlos and Herbalife introduced me to the term personal development. So I feel like that changed my life forever. I did Herbalife, had some success there for a little bit, and I had a union job at the time at a chemical plant nearby, and we were buying a house and all that. So I was just like, I gotta kind of, focus on domestication, let's call it at the moment. So I took care of my union job for a while and started getting into union leadership there with the Steelworkers Union, negotiating contracts, grievances on the daily, everybody's problems on the daily for about 3 years, high pressure negotiations. So I learned a lot about dealing with people's problems on a regular, how to problem solve on a regular. And then, of course, that negotiation experience was invaluable. So I was on track to be on staff, but to get on staff, you basically have to wait for somebody to retire or get fired. And I was like, I'm so sick of being in this chemical plant right now. Like, I got to do something.
Yeah.
Again, I heard somebody say they didn't want to go back to school. I didn't want to go back to school either. So I was like, what could I do? Where could I use my skills? So I was like, October, I'm treating myself for my birthday, a real estate license, and let's give this thing a whirl. So made a plan, eventually, cut it off and went right to it. Found a mentor, joined a great office, found a mentor, and never looked back.
Okay.
And how many years ago was that?
That was 6 years ago.
6 years ago.
Yeah. I
And
got
when
my
did you-
license in October of 2018.
So and then you became a broker.
Became a broker in 2022. So working on 3 years as being a broker. Already, man, it happened so
Yeah, it all
fast.
goes by so quick.
What was it like working during COVID though?
Yeah.
COVID was interesting. I mean, you've been
Yeah.
working. You've been around
I bought my
since,
house during COVID, so
before
I-
even the recession. So you got to ride that wave.
Yeah.
And all that. That was a whole different.
That was a whole
thing.
different
That's complete
thing.
opposite
What
of
did you
the
think
COVID.
about working during the pandemic?
Well, if I could go back to 2018, that actually, I found in real estate is that you just have to change with the market. And that's when I learned that was during the time of the, when everything happened in the market crash.
The first pandemic, the
Yeah,
2008.
yeah, 2000, at the end of 2008 when the market crashed, I found out that stuff happens in real estate. And that's when I just dove in on working with investors.
Oh, really?
Because that was an investor's dream market
Yes.
Yeah.
during that time.
Yep, when
So
prices
that's
were
how,
down, right?
I found my niche with that. And, it just kind of taught me. So during COVID, even though that was something totally different, it just, I was just kind of ready for it. Took about 2 weeks.
Right.
Because it had to set in,
Yeah.
what's really going on. But after those 2 weeks, came up with the plan and,
Oh man, it was crazy
Yeah.
times. I mean, as realtors, we're we are. I mean, I use the word adaptable, describing me, but as realtors, we're extremely adaptable.
Right.
I mean, I think about my last 6 years, and so, at first, like going through that COVID, I had a very normal year, my first year, and then it was like COVID.
All of a sudden.
You just got to figure out everything totally different. And then now with these new, the NAR settlement and everything, and we're
here we go again.
Like, what's going to change the next 2 years? Probably.
Right. Oh, I'm sure we're headed into something, especially like election year and everything like that. I'm sure there's something in the works coming for us to be ready for. I doubt that we'll just smooth sail through it.
Yeah.
So with your experience in real estate and having, starting to want to build your family and living, like what would you say would be a pivotal moment in your life that a lot of things switched for you, like creating those healthy boundaries? Like when was it in that time where you're like, besides getting your real estate license, that you were like, okay, this is where my life is going? Was it when you got married? Was it when you guys bought your home? Like you always have that pivoting moment in your life.
Yeah, for me, I would say I'll go back to that term personal development, being introduced to that. I'll go back to that time, and that was extremely impactful for me. Extremely impactful for me, because I dove into whatever book I was told I should read, and I was like, wow, like this is so eye-opening. And one of the books I ended up reading, and don't get me wrong, like I've gone through counseling and therapy, I'm trying to be at a higher conscious level, and know more about myself and have that inner peace. But that's kind of, it took a while to get there.
Yeah.
But it started with that personal development journey. And honestly, this is one of my most gifted books, is because it's such an easy read, and I think it changed my life. So, have you guys ever read The 4 Agreements?
Yeah. We talk about it all the time.
Absolutely. That's what changed
in
my
fact,
life.
it's something that did you guys
like
know there's a book called The Fifth Agreement?
Yeah,
Do you
The
guys
Fifth
know that?
Agreement, The Mastery of Love.
I'm reading The Mastery of Love right now.
Yeah.
But I actually made my 11-year-old read The 4 Agreements.
That's fantastic.
And like last year, because we talked about it a lot on the show. Rob introduced us to that book, and we talked about it a lot on the show. And every day on the way to school, I'd make her recite The 4 Agreements. I mean, she's in 6th grade.
Wow.
Hard year. Middle school going.
It's been a while. Recite them for me.
The first one is always say what you mean? No.
Be impeccable with your word.
Be impeccable with your words.
Yeah.
Don't take things
Don't
personal.
think too personal. Oh my gosh.
Always do your best.
Always do your best.
yeah.
And don't tell me. This is God, she's gonna watch this and be so mad at me. I can't even think of the fourth one because I've been put on the spot.
Be impeccable
Give me
with your
a
words. Don't take things personal.
personal.
what do we got?
Give me a hint. Be impeccable with your words. Don't take things personal. See, always do your best. We're
Always
being
do
put
your
on the
best.
spot, right?
Let me double check.
I read it so long ago, and
I know.
I honestly
Oh,
can't.
duh. This is what I was going to say, actually. So you said, was there ever a point? And I remember this point. The fourth agreement is don't make any assumptions.
Don't make any assumptions. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is kind of stupid and corny, but I remember it like it was yesterday. And I had just finished reading that book. And we're coming in, like those old screen doors, like, and they catch you on the back of the ankle going upstairs, and you just bite it and fight.
Yeah.
It's awful. Well, I remember we're coming home from grocery shopping, we're going in, and I assumed she was right by me, and I'm going in, and that screen door catches the back of my ankle. I'm so mad. And in this instant, I was like getting ready to put that energy towards my wife.
Yeah.
And that don't make any assumption.
Yeah.
Popped into my head, and
Yeah.
I was like, that wasn't her fault, that was my fault.
Yeah.
Right? That was one of the biggest things, is just taking personal responsibility.
What is the fifth agreement? I haven't read that book yet. Do you know what it is? Do you remember?
I don't remember exactly what the fifth agreement is. I haven't read it in a while, but...
And there's another book I'm reading too, is The Power of Showing Up.
I haven't heard
So
of it.
that's another one too, and it's basically the same thing, like the 4 agreements, but it's the power of showing up, like being there and being present in the moment. So, I went through my Audible today. There's a lot of them in there. Like I must be going through something right now because there's a lot of definitely self-help books, but.
That's a book I've read probably 5-6 times.
Yeah,
honestly.
it's a
that
very
rare.
easy read. Yeah, and I actually ordered copies for the entire family, so Will and I both read it. I gave one to my mom.
Wow.
Made my mom read it.
Kudos to you giving that to your daughter, though, at such
yeah.
a young age. I mean, that's going to serve her
Yeah.
So we might have to circle back and read it again because 7th grade has been interesting thus far. Only 2 weeks in, but seventh grade for girls. Whew, man.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, I think back to when I was in 7th grade.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Middle
school
It's
is rough.
life changing.
But that's
really,
the
I
thing,
think.
though. Like, we think about to when we were
that's
in
when
7th grade.
everything starts, kind of
Like, so, I mean, because even still, there's still not 20 years, but like 15 years between us. So even now, like, take it back to another 15 years where my daughter's 11, and the stuff that they do and say and wear in 7th grade, I'm like it's even a friend of mine's going through stuff with bullying with her daughter in social media. And the only way this child's going to get in trouble is if her daughter files a complaint. Her daughter's a minor. And I'm like, where, like, because I remember, like, there's a 0 bully tolerance rule. And it's not like that anymore. Like, there is, but the child has to do it. The parent can't even do it.
We can't really relate
No, I
to
can't
now
relate to
because we
that.
didn't have social media when we were in school.
So, like, bullying
it's
happened, I mean, bullying did happen, but it was
Yeah.
like, meet me in the back parking lot
yeah.
in person and we'll handle it. But, like, it's not like that anymore. So, the stuff that they go through now, and I have another little girl behind her that I'm just like, this is my preparation for it.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, like, I think eventually it's gonna be all online.
Honestly,
School in general? Just
I
school
do
as a
think
whole?
so
I
because
think-
more and more people. Both of my oldest daughter, she did her senior year online, and then now my other daughter, she did half of the semester last year online, and now she's doing it again online. And she said this year it's like so many more people
wanting to
that's
do it
doing
online.
it too.
It's such a hard.
Yeah.
God, it's so hard because you think about like some of the kids that go through stuff at home. Going to school is their only outlet out of that.
Absolutely. It's,
So-
sometimes their only meal of
The
the
only
day.
meal of the
Like,
day,
so I
and
hope
they
that
do,
never
like-
happens,
You
honestly.
still go like 2 days out of the week.
I think I'd like hybrid,
Yeah.
like because I
It's-
do.
yeah.
I would, but
It's
then
not
I
completely
also
online.
have my our oldest just graduated high school, where his freshman year was during COVID, and that was the best year he ever had. Now they still like were getting back into sports and doing stuff like that, but that was the best year he had.
Yeah.
In school, and he did a lot of stuff. So I think they should offer it to those who want it. But I kind of tend to agree with you. I hope it doesn't go to 100% online because I do think
a
there
lot
are a lot
of kids are starting to want it though. Like
Yeah,
a lot
but-
of kids are wanting to do online instead.
My take is I feel like people are already so antisocial. Putting these kids at home and letting them,
in front of a tablet.
they are not going to speak to anybody.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And I notice, I walk my neighborhood every once in a while, and people don't even say hi when you walk past them.
No.
Yeah. Or even make eye contact. It's not even like
No.
you saying hello. It's like even having people, because everyone's down in their phones and stuff like that. Like even my son, he communicates more via text sometimes.
Yeah,
and then
they
one day,
definitely
and then I
more
was so proud. He
text.
like called me. I was like, "You're calling me." He's like, "Well, I'm driving," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll take that. Let's talk while you drive home from school."
Yeah.
So, like, I took that, but they're so like my 7-year-old gets home and she's like, "Can I see the tablet?" And I'm like, "Nope."
Because they're on the laptop or tablet all
That's
day,
the
right?
thing,
All
like
their
Chromebook.
books are on there, right?
We were talking about this
Oh,
last
yeah.
week. There's no books that you
Yeah,
take
it's
home anymore.
Chromebooks.
Nuts.
It's
Chromebooks,
Chromebooks, and
yeah.
everything is the books are downloaded to their Chromebooks. They bring their Chromebooks home. So like we were talking about last week,
Yeah.
how I remember going to the locker and like, shit, I grabbed the wrong book, or let me make sure I have the right book, or you'd go
Yeah.
home with like 6 books because you had homework in every subject.
Yeah.
It's not like that anymore. Like
No.
everything is down. They have books in school that if you want one, but you can't take them home. I'm like, that's crazy. Even that is crazy to me.
That screen time just skyrocketed.
It did. It totally
Everything's
did. So,
turning into
well,
the metaverse.
I didn't tell you. Well, that's what we were just saying. Like, I just got an electric car. Like, I'm
Did
like,
you?
what the hell am I doing in an electric car? It's the most intimidating thing I've ever been in my
It better not be
life.
100% electric.
Huh? It's 100% electric. It's-
Nicole, you cannot drive that up north.
Thank you. That's my, like I said to Will, like, what do we do? Because we obviously we go camping a lot. We talked
because
about
they don't
this.
have
They'll
like
charge her.
There's
And
chargers.
it takes like 5 hours to
5
charge
hours
your car.
charge. I told her I'm driving home on a 28% charge right now because
Yeah.
I didn't charge it before
That's
I got
what I
here
said, yeah.
because I'm not
See?
used to it.
Yeah.
So Will's like yelling at me. He's like, "You might have to stop at the airport and charge." And I'm like, "I don't stop at the airport and charge."
Such an
Like,
inconvenience.
who wants to do that? Like, no, I'm gonna push it like I did in my gas tank. And
Oh my
but with
God.
those, they just like shut off. And I used to make fun of people that had electric cars. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, you guys are dumb as hell. Like, government shuts down, or they're gonna turn your
That
car
always
off.
happens.
Or what is that movie that
Yeah.
You make fun of.
What was that movie?
What was it? Did you
When the
watch it
world-
on Netflix? It
when
was
the
like
world
blowing
ends,
up.
is it?
Yeah.
Is it When the World Ends? Is it?
No.
You guys know
Obama one.
The
the
Yeah.
Obama movie. When the isn't it When the World Ends?
I don't think it was
It's
it.
not When the World Ends, but
We know what
What
you're
I-
talking about, though.
Oh, Lanice is gonna look it up. So yeah, but
it's
that's
like on
what
the tip of my tongue.
yeah, but that's what they did. Like with all the electric cars, they
Yeah.
started making them like crash.
Oh, so you
tests.
did end up
I
watching
hell
it?
no, I didn't watch it. Will told me.
I know. I was like, did you watch it?
I did not. Will told me this, and he's telling me this as we're purchasing our first. I'm like, why are we even? But it's completely powered by Google.
Leave the world behind.
Leave the
Yeah,
world
leave the
behind.
world
That's
behind.
close. Leave the world behind. It's about like what happens when everything shuts down, right?
Oh,
Like
okay.
I don't know. Did you watch it? You didn't
I
watch it.
was not
You
gonna
watched
watch
it.
I watched it.
Okay, I was like, I knew one of
good.
us did.
Look, I'm a sucker for if
Yeah, Brooke
somebody
was the one that watched it.
Yeah, I was
if
like, I
somebody
knew one of
announces
us
on
did.
social media that there's a good movie out on Netflix, I'm watching it.
I did watch They Clone Tyrone though.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah. But
Wait,
we
what?
can talk about that
We
on
can
another
talk- that can be another-
podcast.
I know we didn't even talk about hot topics, but so I did. I made fun of people who got electric cars, and now
Now you
like
have one.
I have my car's. It's one pedal. Like I have two, but it's a one pedal capable car. So I can accelerate, and as soon as I take my foot off the brake, it automatically stops, and it's like it jerks you.
Jerks you.
Like it automatically stops. Like that's kind of dangerous. First
Yeah.
of all. But I didn't know it was. But it's completely powered
It's
by
like
Google.
doing
They
too
s-
much.
I say too, like I know when I was researching Tesla, that
Laser.
type of brake that they have like
Yeah.
when you slow down, that's supposed to help charge the vehicle as well.
Oh.
Oh, so maybe I should turn it back on.
No. I just remember reading.
But what if that breaks and it doesn't stop?
That's my thing. Or what if?
Then you use the real brake.
Yeah,
Oh,
I can
there is
still
a real
use,
break.
there is a
Oh,
real
okay.
break.
Okay.
But they're like, you
Temporary.
should use that in like stop and go traffic or whatever. But
But do it for real, like prevent you from getting into accidents.
well,
you
that's
think,
so.
that type of car.
Will didn't know he hit the button, and we were driving the kids to school, and he took his foot off the pedal, and the whole everyone in the car like.
Because it could
jerked-
probably censor, like when
jerked-
you get close enough.
So that's what he
to
did.
something else to
he
stop it from
started to
happening.
go to there wasn't even a car in front of us. It was a stop sign, and the car sensed the stop sign and brought us to a complete stop at the stop sign.
So you can't run no stop
So I
sign.
can, it won't even let you shift unless your seatbelt's on. You can't even shift it out of gear
Nicole's
unless.
definitely
That's-
going to be late now.
That's like too much.
But yeah, it's really intimidating, but it also makes you think of like we were talking about where technology is going. Like as soon as my kids got in the car, there's this ginormous screen, and they're like, "Oh, screen, finger,
Yeah.
touch this." It's all like I have Alexa in my car. I can talk to my car from my house Alexa
It's
and tell it
crazy.
what to do.
I saw this thing on social media where it was like somewhere in China,
Uh-huh.
and they was like on it. It was saying like we're so far behind
Oh, yeah.
from them because it
Really?
was like this girl. I don't know if y'all saw it, but she
What's
like
that?
punched in this thing. Then she got in the car. No one was driving. First of all, the car was just driving her. It was a young girl. She got in the car, drove, and it was like no one there. But it like took her where she had to go.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
she punched something else. Then she got out of the car.
There was another movie. Oh, sorry.
It was probably the what is it? The series on Netflix.
yes, where the guy got in the back seat and
Yes.
he died.
Yes.
He died.
What is that series? Black something.
No, it's a really good series.
Black Mirror?
Black Mirror.
Is it Black Mirror?
It's Black Mirror.
Is that what it's called? And he got in the back of the car told him, and someone messed with the wire. Is that the one where they messed with the wires of his
Killed
car
him?
and it killed him?
Yeah.
See,
Oh, wow.
now I don't want to drive home.
Yeah.
I don't
Totally
know about
off
these.
topic.
Yeah, I know. We got off topic on that.
I want to bring it back to real estate because we always ask this question to our guests,
Okay.
and we get a lot of cool answers or weird answers.
Weird
but,
answers.
Can
Weird
you
and
tell
cool.
us?
Yeah.
Can you tell us your craziest real estate story?
Gosh, you know, I was thinking about this before I came because I
Is that
watched
a
few of your guys'
question?
video.
I don't even know if that's a question in the email. Is it a question in the email?
No, it's not. No,
Okay.
it's
You
not.
watched
Well,
our-
thank
I watched
you
a
for,
few of your guys'
thank you
videos.
for reading
okay.
the
Here's
email.
your
I like to prepare.
He's totally
so,
prepared.
I know.
We every now and then we have
We have,
people
we have a
like
couple
you.
people like you.
I'll be honest, man. I don't really have a crazy story, and as boring as that is, I'm happy. I'm happy I don't have a crazy story.
Yeah.
Because I've heard some of those. those, breaking up fights and all that. Like,
Did you hear about the one that the guy went in the garage? One of our guests went in the garage. and there
that
a bunch
was
of dead
the,
cats.
I think to this day that was the
I think
craziest
that's still
one.
the like the barrel.
Yeah.
There was like barrels of dead. Was it barrels?
jeez.
A dead cat or something.
Yeah.
Dead cat.
There were
no,
dead
there's
cats.
dead cats, like just like on a counter.
I'm sure you've gone into
You
some
probably,
houses that
yeah.
looked crazy or sketchy.
Sure. I mean, I walked in, there was, a squatter, that wasn't fun,
While you were showing a house.
Yeah, they were in the basement. And I walked in, so yeah, squatter.
Don't mind me.
Like you said, the dead cats. I've seen that.
Really?
Sometimes, the showing with the older people, they'll stay in the showing, and I wasn't sure that person was dead sitting in the recliner watching TV. I'm sure you guys have had awkward showings like that, right?
I have to say, I have not had a showing that the homeowners have ever stayed. I
Oh,
will
yeah,
say
that's
that.
weird.
You have.
Yeah.
I haven't had that yet.
It freaks me out too because they'll
Or
stand
do they
there and
follow you?
watch you.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they will just like watch you like the whole time, and then you have the other ones that'll try to stand off, but they're like listening to
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
or whatever. So
Yeah, no, so no, to disappoint you, no crazy stories really, but my wife and I always joke. My wife has a real estate license as well.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
And we do open houses, and we always joke about the people that walk into these open houses, and I'm sure you have your own experiences, but like, for example, like somebody will just walk into an open house, you greet them, and they walk up, and a guy will literally just walk up to the wall, like this far from the wall, and just be like,
I've never had
it's
that.
always
is he
that
doing?
guy,
oh my gosh, or like the craziest questions, right? Like,
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
you know if the builder of this
just
home is
coming up with
left-handed?
stuff. Yeah,
I
they just
know.
come up with stuff.
Yeah.
I need to know what the nose thing is for. Like, is he making sure it's
Just doing
Nah, it
too
was
much.
just weird. It
Yeah,
was just weird.
those are those people. Like, I just don't like those.
I did do
people.
an open house where people came and just sat down at the kitchen at the table and started eating all the food I brought.
Wow.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
then
People
that's
know
like-
They
that.
didn't even walk through the
Yeah,
house.
just
They
came for the food.
I had like cookies and stuff set up nicely, and they just sat at the kitchen table. And were
Probably
like,
do that every
Healthy
weekend. Like,
mess.
what open houses?
Yeah,
Where are we gonna go this weekend?
That's
I did
why I
have
don't
that
bring
happen.
food because you're not coming in here to eat. You're coming
Yeah.
in here to look at the
Yeah,
house.
no, they
Right.
flat out sat down and was like trying every cookie that I had.
Wow.
And I was like, would you like a paper?
was
They're
like,
like,
what
no,
can
we're
you say?
good.
It's like you
Well, I
sat
did.
out there
I
for
had
a
like a whole, the booklet printout.
Yeah.
Like, here, let me show you a booklet. And they're like, no, we're good.
We just want the food.
Right? I used to go all out. I'd bring a Keurig machine and snacks and all that.
Yeah.
Forget all that.
I think I did that like one time in my whole
That was
career.
the new real
And then
estate
I was like,
person
I'm
in me.
not doing all of this.
no, I'm just.
No one's gonna buy a house because you brought fresh cookies.
Yeah, exactly. No, they're gonna buy if you ask them the right questions.
Right.
So,
That's too
if
funny.
you don't have a crazy real estate story, can you tell us maybe about like a tough transaction that you went through?
I've had plenty of tough transactions for sure. Man, when you have maybe like an estate situation with parents,
probate.
and just having all the families and siblings like just fighting and
Yeah.
you can't get anything done.
Have you ever had like a fight
had
like
that.
while you've been there trying to negotiate or
no, like a conference call, arguing, things like that,
You're
trying
like,
to get everybody on the same page.
let me know when you're
but-
done.
Yeah, just know. I mean, the money situation sometimes in those is very awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's gotta be a hard conversation.
I had this crazy divorce situation one time.
Really?
Yeah, where they were like going through a divorce and they were selling the house. And it was like the husband was so excited about the divorce, and
Kinda like
the
you
wife was
happily
like really.
divorced.
The wife was like really like
the bitter?
upset.
She was bitter?
And it first started by her just calling me like going off on me.
Oh no.
Yeah, because first I got this lead and I scheduled the listing appointment, went there, and it was only the husband there. So I met with him. I got the listing doc signed, everything, and left. And then she called me like, first of all, who do you think you are coming to my house, meeting with my husband?
Oh
and
my
all this
gosh.
stuff. And I'm just like, ma'am, I just came there to help you guys sell it.
I'm just here to work.
It was just,
I'm just here to work.
it was crazy, like the whole transaction, all the way up to the closing, when he was like so happy, he didn't mind giving her half or none of that. Like he just wanted the closing to be over. And she was like sitting at the table, like so angry, just signing the stuff. And he just had this big smile.
Brought the champagne bottle, like, busting out the champagne.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy, like the whole way through that thing. But
That's hilarious.
I got it sold.
But you got sold. That's all that matters.
I got something interesting I want to ask you
Okay.
before we move on really
Yeah.
quick. So, because I'm always curious. I've been a broker, I've been a manager, I've been a coach. I'm in the process of building a team. Coaching is something I'm starting to find a lot of passion for. Helping build other people's up, but just seeing people up, but just seeing agents' growth, like especially a new agent or just somebody who left their job and they're trying to replace their $50,000-$60,000 income. One of the things I tell them like right away, like if you're serious about this, like real estate, it's going to change you. Like you will be a different person, either for the better or for the worse.
True.
And if it's for the worse, you won't be around anymore.
Right.
Right. You'll go back to your job. So I guess like I'll ask you, like how has real estate changed you for the better?
It's definitely gotten me out of my shell because I am very quiet, and I thought that I could just use social media to get leads.
Gotcha.
And while social media is a great way to get leads, when you're just starting to build up your social media brand or just your brand in general, your personal brand through social media, you're not going to get leads right away. And so you have to incorporate another form of gaining leads. And for me, I'm not somebody that likes to cold call, even though I've been forced to do it. I told you guys I refuse to knock on people's doors. And so, I had to put myself out there and go to networking events and walk my neighborhoods and start conversations with people that don't want to talk to me.
Yep.
So it's maybe more outgoing.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
Knowing you like from the beginning, like I can see
Yeah.
that for sure.
Yeah.
You
So I
definitely
would
are much
say-
more outgoing.
Yeah, I would say that. And it brings more fulfillment to my life because what is a life just staying in your house not talking to people?
Yeah.
So
That's true.
Yeah, I appreciate
Kids.
that. Yeah, how about you
Kids.
guys?
Yeah. I would say definitely for me, it gave me tough skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Definitely.
Lots of rejection.
Yeah, it's like in the beginning, my mentor at the time, he made me read that book, like the 48 Laws of Power or whatever. Yeah, like every week we would discuss like a chapter in that book because he was like, you're going to need this in this industry. And at the time I was just kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever, I'll do it. But as I reflect back, it's like, yeah, I really did need all of that because now it's like don't mess with me like when it comes to this. Like
Right.
I was about to
don't
like,
back
what do I
down.
do?
Like nothing intimidates me in real estate. Like I don't care who it is, whatever. So I think for sure, like that's the biggest thing.
I like that. Now, one of the videos
Yeah.
I watched, you talked about your boundaries as well. You don't really like try to go over that 7 o'clock mark.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and set those expectations.
She's the
with
one who
your
taught me
client.
about
That's
doing
you.
the hour by hour schedule. Like,
Yeah.
she like held me
Schedules.
accountable to that. Like
Yeah.
I have like a calendar that has hour breakdowns, and I still to this day that was like what, a year. Aren't you proud of me?
I'm so
Yeah, I still, and I have a big calendar even for the kids. Like
Oh
we
my
would do with the kids.
goodness.
Like that's something that.
that just made my heart happy.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. It really just goes
But
back to
yeah.
respecting. If you respect your time, they'll respect your time.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
they won't respect it if you don't respect it.
That's
they
for
definitely
sure.
won't.
It's like it's a domestication process almost,
Yeah.
right? It's a training. It's
Creating
like,
those
no, if you call me
boundaries.
at 9:30, I promise I will not answer, but you will give me a call. Or
Yeah.
you will
Right.
get a call back the next morning, right?
Right.
Definitely.
For sure.
So I have a question for you before we start to wrap up.
All right, cool. Wow, has it been that long already?
I know. Yeah. Hour talking.
And you probably already prepared for it because I think this is on the question. This is one of the only ones
Is it?
we asked that I think is actually on the question.
I'm gonna have to take it off.
Okay.
What would you tell your younger self?
Ooh. So this was a hard one. That's a hard question on there, for sure. I'll go a little bit deep on you before we leave real quick.
We
I did-
like deep.
okay.
Yeah, we do like deep.
My mom was 58. I lost her last year. This
Sorry
time.
loss.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So just past the anniversary of her death. I'll say it because I think it's part of the healing process, and I watched Rob do this. But she died of fentanyl, for sure. She died of an overdose of fentanyl, and it rocked my world.
Yeah.
Terrible. So ever since then, though, just learning so much about my family since then. I wish I showed my mom more grace as a teenager.
Yeah,
I'm not going to
it's
tell you, like,
huge.
I wish I would have said no. I wish I would have just known more of what her struggles were
Yeah.
that, had her the way she was. Or
Did she
whatever at the
battle
time.
that
Was
throughout
it-
your?
There was addiction battles her
Yeah.
whole life. Absolutely. I mean, it's just, it's the way things are today. That's so easy to get, and it's so lethal and things like that. And there's just not a whole lot you can do, for somebody who isn't ready to help themselves.
Yeah.
So very difficult time in my life, but I was thinking about that. I'm like, I wish I would have shown her more grace as a teenager.
Yeah, and it's
For sure.
it's just so important for you to say that because think of other people that may be watching that may be in that situation where they still have the opportunity to show
But I will
that
say
grace
too, it's
to their
also
mom.
changed you as a parent. Like, and I know you had said that you don't have children, but that doesn't mean that's not what the cards hold for you in the future.
Right.
But I think like when you have that experience in your parents, because I, had a little bit of a tumultuous relationship with mine too. I mean, I'm very much with my parents, but there's struggles, and I think we all went through them. But it causes me to sit and. You don't want your kids to have to. What is it? You don't want your kids to have to go to therapy from the lifestyle that you created for them.
Yeah.
And I went to therapy from the lifestyle my parents created for me, and I'm trying to but it's going to help you think in the long picture. So, but even thinking back to that with your struggles growing up, how did that mold you as a person though? Like you said that you were adaptable, and
Yeah,
that's great.
Absolutely.
But now thinking back that you need to show your mom more grace, how do you move forward? And how does that mold you for your next chapter of your life?
Yeah. So there was another great question on there. It's like, what do you do when you're facing challenges or something like that, or something goes wrong in your life? For me, at least, it's live in it. Live in it for a minute. Feel that. I was somebody who always younger growing up, before personal development, hold back my feelings. Suppress everything. But now it's like you gotta. Live in it. Feel it for a minute.
Definitely.
You are
I love
human,
that.
and then, but know that you can't live in it forever. Like,
Yeah.
you do
That's
have
my
to
favorite
move
saying.
on eventually.
I say that's my favorite saying. Like you're allowed to be here in this moment, but you can't stay here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But practicing self-compassion, that's
Yeah.
the biggest
And
factor.
that's what we're supposed to do. Like we go through those things. We need to feel it
Yeah.
and just let it pass through though.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to just stay there
Right.
and fester.
Right,
So,
right. And if it is,
Yeah.
then you got some more work to do. Maybe
Yeah.
you need to look into, counseling
Right.
or, something for sure.
Yeah.
It's crazy though, because there aren't so many outlets anymore for people to have this kind of breakthrough and stuff. Because I remember growing up as a kid, I was in therapy, and that's something that you didn't tell your friends.
Yeah.
You were in therapy,
no.
absolutely not. They would think you're crazy, and now I think that we're growing into a culture that it's okay. I think personally, I think everybody at some point in their life needs therapy, and I wish it was offered
It's really
more.
just self-realization.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
You're not going because you're crazy. You're going just because you need to sort things out, and sometimes you can't do it by yourself. But I'm happy that you are at a stage in your life that you can talk about it, because I don't think enough people talk about
Yeah.
those type of struggles and stuff like that. So to be able to present that part of your story, I think is really awesome, and takes a lot of courage to do so. So I appreciate you coming here and doing that.
Yeah, no problem. I
you.
appreciate you guys
Yeah,
having me on.
for
And
sure.
yeah, it was good.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you so much.
Is there any end thought you would like to end with?
Yeah, what's your final thought?
Yeah,
that you
final
would like to
thought.
say?
Final
Or
thought.
if anyone's going through something
Yeah.
like that as a kid or something.
Yeah. Final thought is, I guess, just show you. We just mentioned. There's actually a book called Self Compassion.
Okay.
You can take a look at that. It's something we just don't do. A lot of us will show the next person next to us, the person next to us, a lot of grace, a lot of compassion. Oh, you're okay. You're gonna be all right. You're not an idiot. Things like that, right? But in our head, we're like, you're a fucking idiot. What are you doing?
Not
What's
the
wrong with you?
sharpest
It's your
tool
fault.
in the shed.
Right, exactly. So show yourself some grace, some self-compassion, and I guess the other side of that is when you do live in it, you got to move forward. For me, my advice to anybody going through anything deep is to find those good habits that make you better, right? So for me, it's always getting back to my personal development. It's getting back in the gym, feeling physically better. It's getting back to reading some of these books like the 4 Agreements, feel mentally better,
Yeah.
and surrounding yourself with people who I guess
Definitely.
you can connect with, and they'll listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Love it.
Thank
Great
you
advice.
so much
Yeah, I
for
appreciate
being
you
here. We
guys.
appreciate
Yeah.
you being here.
No problem. I'll come back anytime.
Sounds great.
Thank you guys for tuning back into the Real People and Real Estate podcast. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.
I was saying,
I
it's
was
funny.
so
Alyssa, I know you were, and that's why I
Wow.
asked.
I was
Yeah,
having
they make you
hot
hot.
flashes.
Yeah,
or
I
I was
what
like,
the heck was going on?
Evelyn needs to open the door.
Right.